You know, when summer rolls around, what's that one drink everyone seems to reach for to stay hydrated and healthy? For so many of us, it's fresh coconut water. It's got this reputation, right? The ultimate guilt-free, super healthy refreshment. But what's it actually doing to our blood sugar?
All right, so let's really get into this. I mean, you hear it all the time. It's packed with electrolytes, way better for you than some sugary soda. But here's the real question. When it comes to sugar, what's the real story? We're about to find out, and honestly, the answer might just surprise you.
So yeah, we're putting this fan-favorite summer drink under the microscope. No guesswork, no maybes, just straight-up data. We're gonna see what really happens inside your body when you down a glass of fresh coconut water. Okay, so here's the setup for our little experiment. We took a single 300 milliliter serving of fresh coconut water. You might know it as Nariyal Pani. And you know it's the real deal, super fresh, when you can see a tiny bit of that pulp floating around in there. Super simple, straight to the point, and, as it turns out, pretty revealing. Okay, before we even get to the results, let's just look at the numbers on paper. So this 300 ml glass, it's only 60 calories. Now, to put that in perspective, that's just a quarter of the calories you'd find in the same amount of sugarcane juice. So right off the bat, that sounds like a massive win, right? But, and this is a big but, calories don't tell the whole story. Not when we're talking about blood sugar.
All right, the test is officially on. And I'll be honest, I was really hoping the spike would be tiny. You know, I wanted it to live up to that super healthy reputation. The glucose monitor is doing its thing, and the data is rolling in. Let's see what it says. Okay, here we go, the moment of truth. Time to see what the glucose monitor has to tell us about that 300 milliliters of coconut water. The numbers are in. And there it is. This is it. The one number this whole experiment was about. This is the real, direct impact of that seemingly innocent glass of coconut water. A spike of 37 milligrams per deciliter. Now, let's be clear, that is a significant spike. That's not nothing. It's definitely not negligible. So the big takeaway here is that this all-natural drink has a very real and pretty quick effect on your blood sugar. Okay, so what does a 37-point spike actually mean? Let's put this number into context, because on its own, it might not sound like a huge deal. But when you stack it up against another popular sweet drink, well, that's when things get really, really interesting. And this chart just lays it out perfectly. You see our coconut water on the left with that 37-point spike? And on the right, the spike from the same amount of sugarcane juice, a whopping 75. That is almost exactly double the impact. So yeah, for sure, it's the better choice between the two. But wait, the story doesn't end there. It actually gets even more interesting. Okay, and this right here is the absolute key insight. Remember what we said earlier? The coconut water only had 1/4 of the sugar that sugarcane juice has. But look at the spike. It was half as big, not a quarter as big. See the disconnect? This is where things get super fascinating. And this all boils down to the single most important lesson from this whole thing. These things are not always proportional. You just can't assume that because something has, say, half the sugar, it's going to have half the impact on your body. The whole relationship between the amount of sugar you eat and how your blood sugar responds, it's just not that simple. It's not a straight line. So what this test really drives home is that simple sugars, even the good ones from a natural source, and even in smaller amounts, they can hit your bloodstream and jack up your blood sugar levels, and fast. It really proves that the type of sugar can matter just as much as the total amount. So after all of that, what's the final verdict? Is coconut water good for you or not? Well, like pretty much everything in nutrition, it's not a simple yes or no. It really, really depends on the context. So let's break it down, kind of like a pros and cons list. In the good column, you've got minerals, it's amazing for rehydration, and yeah, it gives you a quick little energy boost. But what's the catch? Well, that energy boost is coming from those simple sugars, which are responsible for that fast blood sugar spike we just saw. So when does it make sense to drink it? Well, think about it. When you're sweating a ton in the summer and you need to replace all those minerals you're losing, perfect. Or, even better, right after a tough workout. That's when your body can actually use that quick hit of sugar and electrolytes to start recovering. In those specific situations, it's pretty much a perfect fit. So at the end of the day, the choice is yours. Are you going to use it as a smart, strategic tool for post-workout recovery? Or is it just another hidden sugar hit wearing a health halo? The cool thing is, now you've got the data. You can make the call that's right for you.